Everything starts with an idea. Look around you. Everything that you see around you started as an idea. Books around you, tables, chairs, windows, lamps, the desk, computers. Everything once was a thought or an imagination in somebody's head until it got manifested into reality. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Rima. Nice to see you. Today's conversation is about clarity being a superpower. And what if you have a thought, a dream, an imagination, something in your mind that you want to manifest into reality? What happens when that thought or idea doesn't get manifested? It creates a lot of chaos. It creates confusion. You feel lost, lack of direction. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How we go about moving from having an idea or a thought, our hopes and dreams, into something that we can actually live, enjoy, and experience and have clarity around it. So I'm going to add my dear friend, Rima, who's going to join me. For those of you enjoying a bank holiday Monday, happy bank holiday. I hope it's been a good day. I just came back from the pool with my daughter.
Hello.
Hi, Rima.
How are you? I'm doing
How are you
great.
doing?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing
I think
good
the first
as
thing we
well.
got to clarify before we get to clarity is the time zone fun challenges that we all go through as we're a global community. And you see everyone is in a different time zone,
Yes.
figuring that out. That's always the funnest part.
We sort of take it for granted, right? That we've got this technology that can bring us together in one given time. But it's true. Planning to meet people from different parts of the world and connecting at the same time, it takes some serious clarity.
Yes. And we face that today.
Yes. We messed up our time difference. So, how are you
great.
today?
I started my day off with my parents, and that's always wonderful that I get to be with them and take care of them and see how their world is going. So I'm always in gratitude when I get to do stuff like this. How about you?
Yes. I spent the morning at my first morning at a poolside. So the weather is really nice here today, and I took my daughter with her cousins, my brother and his children came as well, to go and have a dip in the pool. So it's been really relaxing, really nice day.
I'm in sunny California, but it's not very sunny today.
Well, I can show off of a sunny London for unusually, especially over a bank holiday. Normally we're experiencing lots of rain and clouds and fog.
Weather.
So yes. So Rima, today's conversation is about clarity and how having clarity can be a superpower. Earlier on, I mentioned that everything started as an idea. If you look around you, all your appliances, everything around us started as a thought or an idea in somebody's mind. And that idea needed clarity to be manifested into reality, a reality that people can experience, share, and enjoy. Okay. And sometimes when we don't have clarity about what we're doing, we can get lost, we can feel overwhelmed, stressed, and even lack of confidence. You know, a lot of people who believe they're suffering with lack of confidence is also because they're not really clear about why they want to do something or their skill sets. It takes time to sit down and get a pen and paper and define what clarity feels for you, because clarity is also an intelligence, not intelligence as in AI or book intelligence, but really being streetwise to have a sense of your core strengths, what makes you come alive, what makes you happy, what excites you, clarity around that. So what are your thoughts around clarity being a superpower? And when did you define clarity for yourself?
Clarity is definitely a superpower. And it comes from a lot of action within your own life. And
Yeah.
after those actions are taken, really going back and digging deep in what you learned from this. Not just taking things for
Yes.
granted. Clarity doesn't come from all of a sudden you're clear about everything. It comes from observing, being a lot more in tune to who you are and how you verbalize
Mm.
things, how you do things. So for me, clarity came from years of going through a lot of a variety of life stuff, but then taking the real time
Mm.
to pay attention. And my biggest one came when my sister passed away, or I realized that she was going to pass away from cancer. That was like a lightning moment for
Mm.
me when the doctor said to us that she's got a few weeks to live. Something within me like
Wow.
altered immediately.
Mm.
And I became a lot more
Yeah.
mindful, is what I call it, to be aware. And that's where my
Mm.
journey really, really began to become a lot more reflective and to be a lot more present. And that's where clarity comes
Mm.
from being open, being aware. So it's interesting
Mm.
how life leads you to moments that give you that opportunity to absorb a superpower. So for me, mindfulness and clarity kind of go hand in hand. And that's why I call it
Mm.
mindfulness, is being aware of what's happening within you. That was the biggest moment for me. And that's been since 2011. And it's been a journey since then to continue to explore and be present and be a lot more mindful in the way that I show up, the way I listen to someone. It's a beautiful journey. It really is a beautiful journey. For
Mm.
you?
Wow. First of all, my heart goes out to you for the loss of your sister. There's nothing that gives more clarity than mortality, either questioning your own mortality or somebody you love or care about taken away from you. Today is actually a heavenly birthday for an older brother of mine. So I have 5 brothers. One of them passed in 2016, and today's his birthday. So my heart goes out to you as I'm remembering him and, coming to terms with his departure. Um, okay, so my first clarity came from when I was 6 years old. I used to have a maths tutor. I've always hated maths. I'm not good at maths. It's not my strength. And my parents got me a tutor to support me. So, I grew up in Ghana. So I had this tutor that would come home once a week, and I never did my homework. And one day, and back then they used to cane the children, right? So if you didn't do your homework, I was going to get some lashes on my bum, and it was so painful. So when I showed him that I didn't know my times table or whatever I was supposed to study that week, and it was time for him to smack me, I said, okay, I'm going to be right back. I need the bathroom. I went into my bedroom. I love you, Vaseline. Hi. I went into my bedroom, Rima. I went into my underwear drawer and put on all the layers of panties that I had, all the shorts, all the knickers, all the cycling shorts. I put everything I could to layer up my bum so that the lashes were a bit less. And as he was hitting me, I wasn't reacting in the same sort of way that I'd react. So I was a bit more like, yeah, whatever, keep hitting. And he noticed it. It was so embarrassing. He had no shame. He actually pulled the whole lot down and hit me properly. And that was the first serious clarity that, right, I can't cheat my way through life. I'm going to have to start learning this, and I need to start putting in the effort, So that was like, whoa,
That's
bloody
quite a
hell.
story,
Yeah.
Emma. And it's funny. You reminded me when
Yes.
I was a child, we used to have the belief that if you didn't study, if you would eat oregano, somehow that brings up your memory and you can actually learn everything and be able to recite it. Clarity, that does not do that.
So yes, that's my earliest childhood memory of remembering Never again. This is crystal clear. I can't cheat my way through stuff. I need to put in the time. My confidence is going to come when I'm competent. And where I'm struggling, I've got the support here. I need to use it. So that's just a funny story that I wanted to share with you. Okay, so I have this game, keeping it in a fun bank holiday way. It's called Find Your Bling.
I like
Where's
the name already.
So it's a coaching game. It's called Find Your Bling. And we're going to take a shortcut with this game because we don't have all the time in the world. But I need to ask you, what is the question in your mind around an idea that you have that you want to bring into the world, but you want some more clarity around it? So tell me a question that you'd like to achieve, and we're going to spend some time getting some more clarity around your question.
My beingness, my platform, everything that I do is about what is the best way to bring more kindness into the world and more respect into people's heart for each other. That's the question that I mull over.
I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. What is the best way to bring more kindness into the world?
More respect into people's heart for the way we treat each other.
Into people's hearts for the way we treat each other. Wow, what a beautiful question. Okay, let me ask you, why is that important to you?
I lived through a period of war as a child where kindness was definitely not present and respect for each other was not present. And let me tell you, Emma, that is not pretty at all to see, live, or feel. And that is not the direction our world needs to go at all. So that's why I go in the direction is, how do we make it a world where we see each other, we are respectful of each other, and we're kind to each other? It's really gigantic to live through that. And it took me years to comprehend that that's where that question was coming from and why I show up in a way that some people go, oh, you're not letting your boundaries up. It's like, no, it's not about boundaries. It's about seeing the other human being and allowing them to figure it out without me being I'm in your face. Because when you're in someone's face, nothing good is going to come of it. And that's where that comes from, that entire question of living and bringing that more into the world.
What a beautiful mission you have there. And what a world it would be if we learn all how to bring more kindness and respect into our own hearts and into each other's hearts. So, okay, love the question. Let's use it as the basis of this Find Your Bling game, okay? So you now have a deck of cards to choose from. And the topics are inspiration, growth, new beginnings, believe, love, and bling boost.
Let's go with new beginnings.
New beginnings. Okay, so that's new beginnings. And I'll tell you what new beginnings is. It's about a fresh start, new beginnings. It's like you have a magic wand and your wish is your own command, creating new mindsets and new opportunities. When you choose a new beginning card, read it and notice how old energies that no longer serve you can fade away for something new and exciting to flow in. A fresh start is good for the soul. Notice how this card relates to your question. Find your power from within and take a leap of faith. You'll be amazed by what you find on the other side. Okay? So now I'm going to shuffle the new beginnings card.
I love the words already from that card. They're so true.
Yeah? Okay. So virtual
let's
pick a
go
card.
little more. That one. Go back. No, go back.
Yeah.
Yes. That one.
Yeah.
The one that's less. That one.
This one right here. Okay. So this one right here, if I can pull it without dropping the rest. I tell you what it says. Do I feel ready to put my big girl pants on and create a change in the world I'm looking for? Talking about me putting on pants. This is amazing. Do I feel ready to put on my big girl pants to create the change that I've been looking for? How does this relate to your question? And your question was, what's the best way to bring more kindness into the world and respect into people's hearts?
It definitely plays in here, Emma, for sure, because when I think of this question and that idea, my first thoughts, it used to be, my brain would go, it's like, that's such a soft thing. Like, how are you going to bring kindness into the world? How are you going to bring more respect? It's not something that you can hand them. It's not something that you can sell them or manifest it. Is the way that I see it, is to demonstrate it, to be it. In all the ways that's possible. I get to be caretaker right now to my parents, and what a privilege and gratitude to that. And I face those things every day when life gets challenging, when our ordinary ways of thinking, I get challenged with it. My dad doesn't comprehend what I'm saying to him. And my first instinct used to be was to get louder. And now it's like, wait a minute, that's not very kind, because he's not doing any of this on purpose. Or if my mom is reacting in a certain way. So putting on my big panties is really going back within me and going, wait a minute, I'm talking about bringing kindness into the world. I get to be that right here, right now, in my own world of what I see as challenges, when someone else are facing challenges that are beyond thought, and people are going through that every day. So how do I translate what I'm doing today with my parents as I step out more into the world, and people that are suffering or having a really hard time, to bring kindness into their heart and to everyone else that it touches? So putting on my big panties is speaking out, showing up, not being afraid of some of the voices that come up that go, well, that's not enough. That's not something that's needed in the world. When in reality, that is exactly what's needed in the world. Our soft skills, our kindness, our respect, our understanding, our love is what's needed in this world. So I love this card as it came up, especially as the big panties, because I do go through that. And I have to remind myself, this is important. It is very important.
Yeah. Thank you for all that you shared just now. It's so true that charity begins at home. All that you're trying to manifest out in the world starts from within, first of all, and then starts from our own home, where we have a direct influence. You know, your home is also your world, you know, it's part of the world. And it's so wonderful that the cycle of life, your parents had compassion for you as a baby. You're talking about your dad is not doing it on purpose. Like when you were growing up, I'm sure when you couldn't feed yourself or do your own shoelaces, or all the times your dad was patient with you, you weren't doing it on purpose. That he's taught you that compassion and kindness and respect, and that you're giving it back to him, because you won't be able to give him what he didn't give you. You're giving it all back because he gave that to you. So it's beautiful how the cycle of life is rolling out in your household right now. Thank you for that, sharing that. So the mirror of life, absolutely. So that's new beginnings. Would you like to pick another card? So you have love, believe, bling boost, inspiration and growth. Let's do love. So remember your question. What's the best way to bring more kindness into the world and respect into people's hearts? So the love deck, it's right here. I'll tell you what it's about. It's all about enhancing and renewing your inner happiness. When you choose the love card, finish the sentence and notice the power of words you use and any insights that you gain. How does it make you feel? Notice how this card relates to your question. A little dose of love can lighten up your day and boost your energy, because love can heal everything. The love deck enhances and renews your inner happiness. So let's see. I'll shuffle it up, spread it out, and see which one you choose. So hard to spread this.
That one, Emma. You just touched it. No, go back.
This one right here?
Go back. That one. That one.
This one.
And I love that color green.
Okay. It is a gorgeous green. So this one says, my inner voice is guiding me to ... How does that relate to your question? My inner voice is guiding me to...
My inner voice is guiding me to be a lot more present, to be a lot more understanding, and seeing the other person where they are. Not where I would like them to be, where they are. And I see that as love, is when you can see the other person and you don't attempt to maneuver or maneuver them to what you would like, but kind of letting them be and relating to them.
Yes.
That's gigantic love. And I see that as huh?
Isn't that what we all want, Rima? Isn't that the best way to bring more kindness into the world?
It is. And you and I talked about this offhand before this. It's not that easy to do that. I mean, let's not pretend like, oh, this is all simple. It comes back to us to really reflect and be present and pay attention to what we're being at that moment. So if we're not being kind, if we're not being loving, that's all within. It's all within. It has nothing to do with the other person. It's just a reflection of what's going on within us and how we're reacting.
So if somebody's watching you right now, Rima, and they want to do the same, but they don't know how do you catch yourself from not passing on your own judgment or expectations, but to really be present with that person and listen to them? Because it says here, your inner voice is guiding you to. So what does that look like in practice? I wish I could
say it's something complicated. It's exactly what you just said, to pay attention, to notice your words, to notice how you are showing up, your entire energy. And if you're bothered, pay attention. If you're thrilled, pay attention. It's not just in what we call a negative circumstance, but it's in a positive way too. Pay attention. No one can be inside of you. I taught myself to do that by actually putting reminders on my phone to check in with myself. And it took me months for me to pay attention, to really notice and continue to notice. And then the alarm slowly went off, but that teaching stayed with me. So as soon as I feel like I'm triggered in any way, positive or negative or any way, I pay attention, go, why? What is it in me that is promoting that, thinking of that feeling, so that I can be a lot more present that what they just said or did is about me and what I bring into this world and how I'm viewing it. So that's how I learned it, and that's how I teach it. I literally, when I teach it, I go, you gotta pay attention. I can't do that for you. I can give you all these tools, but till you take that step, none of the tools are going to do any of us any good, right? You're a coach, you understand this. All the tools in the world don't do much till the person decides, like, I'm going to show up. I'm going to really dig deep and utilize this.
Yes. And isn't that what the whole coaching and personal development industry is? We help people to stop and pay attention. You cannot have clarity as a superpower without, first of all, being able to pay attention and also to direct your attention. Because to be able to have a thought, imagination, dreams, hopes, whatever you're trying to bring forth in this life, in this world, Like, for example, your question is, what's the best way to bring more kindness into the world? That requires you to stop and pay attention. And when you stop and pay attention, you get more clarity around it because you're able to listen to your inner voice and have your inner
And I
voice
think the
guide you.
toughest part, Emma, is
Thank you,
sometimes you don't
Emma.
like the answers, which is wonderful. That means
Yes.
you're on the right path.
Yes. Sometimes you don't like what you discover. Sometimes is unlearning what you thought was the right learning and
Reframing it.
relearning new things. You know, clarity comes from paying attention and removing what doesn't serve us anymore, as that love card said. Okay, pick another card then, Rima. So you now have left believe, growth, or a
Let's
bit
do
of
bling
bling
boost. That
boost.
sounds like fun on holiday.
Okay, bling boost. Let's see what that's about. So the Bling Boost deck uplifts your soul. It's like a disco ball reflecting your beautiful self, increasing your confidence and giving you a boost of positive energy. When you choose a Bling Boost card, read it and notice how spectacular it makes you feel. When you feel good, it energizes your mind, your body, and your soul. Notice how this card relates to your question. Life is for you and about you. Live with purpose and passion. Okay, so Bling Boost.
Nice.
That's another green deck. I'll shuffle it. So your question, if you're joining now, we're talking about the power of clarity, guys. Rima has a really beautiful mission in this world, and her mission is to find a way to bring kindness into the world and more respect into people's hearts. And using the Bling game, we're getting more clarity around it. So Rima, let's pick a Bling Boost card and see how we can give you more energy.
Let's go right in the middle. That one. You just tapped. No, the one right before.
This one right here?
Yep.
This one. Okay then. So I'll separate that card. That's this one right here. I'll put that one back properly. And it says, you can let go and move forward. You can let go and move forward. Explain to us what that means for you relating to your question.
Wow. Let go of the thought that this isn't big enough. This isn't the skill. This isn't what people are looking for. Because there's so many people that are selling things, that this isn't about selling someone. This is about making them pay attention and show up in their humanity and in their consciousness. So that thought, because everyone is telling you, you know, if I teach, if you coach, if you this, you got to have something to sell and you got to have this. Like, this isn't about selling. This isn't about the thought that this is not big enough, the thing that makes us human. So letting that thought that this isn't the right thing go. And I've heard it from a lot of people. I will tell you, because we run in circles of a lot of wonderful people that do coaching, that do speaking, that do all kinds. And I've heard the words, but till me, let go of it and move forward. That's the biggest key. Yes. It's a daily task. Sometimes it's a weekly task, but sometimes it's a daily task to let go of that thought.
Daily task. Okay. So if somebody's watching, Riemann, I always like to allow you to give your personal nuggets and wisdom that you've learned. We've all got thoughts that are holding us back, right? And yours came up that you can let go so you can move forward. And you said it's a consistent and daily practice. So what does that look like in practice? What do you do on a daily basis to remind yourself that it's not about selling and all those thoughts and beliefs that come to you, but it's about helping people to hold their attention and to become more aware?
It goes right along the same line of how I set the alarms to learn this. I do the same thing with when the thought comes along, to really pay attention, like, why is this coming along? And where did I learn that? And where is it within me that possibly that holds me back, or I'm fearful of stepping up and being myself and saying those things, looking at where does my thought take me into the future, presenting something that isn't there. And that's the truth. Anytime we have thoughts, we create these mini movies of all kinds of stuff that isn't real yet at all. So I pay attention. Now I pay very close attention. I used to only pay attention to what I'm thinking. Now it's like, where is it projecting? And is that the truth? I ask myself, is that the truth? Does it have to be that way? Of course it doesn't have to be that way. Bless you. Bless you.
Excuse me.
So paying attention to that
Thank
thought
you.
and what movie it played.
Yeah.
And I take the time to go, that's not the movie that's going to be created. I'm creating it. I'm putting that energy out. That's not the movie that's going to be created. That's not the reality that's going to come along. That's not the vision that's going to come along, or the imagination that's going to come along. And again, it's a daily thing, because we all face them. We all face different thoughts that come up, and we create a whole world out of them in a few seconds. Like, what? No. So learning to pay attention and change the scenario. And it may not happen the first time. Sometimes you have to sit in that thought and go, why am I creating this scene? What is this the scene that I would really like for me and for the world? And as soon as you can answer those things and answer them well within you, you start to go, okay, I can alter this. It is within my power. And that's the truth. It's within each of our power as individuals to make that change. What about you, Emma?
Thank you for sharing that, Rima. I just want to bring up something that came up for me as you were speaking. It's amazing how many questions you asked in that, like, where am I going, why, where, and what? And today's topic being about clarity. The way to get clarity is through questions, right? And asking empowering questions. You talked about a whole movie is created, a mental movie is created. But the type of movie that's created that is either empowering and uplifting, or diminishing your soul or making you feel less than, comes from the questions also. You know, so I love that you talked about asking questions and asking yourself empowering questions that changes the movie. For myself, in terms of what I have to let go to move forward, I think it's about embracing all that I am and be okay with it. You know, I had parts of a past, like I shared today, about, you know, maybe having a tutor and getting smacked a few years ago. I would have felt it was embarrassing, but nothing's embarrassing. Whatever, my story is just a story. I'm now stepping forward and being an observer of my reality, almost like a historian or an archaeologist. I'm just there in a box, like a box of Find Your Bling game, and it's just coming up, and I'm having a childlike sense of wonder and curiosity about why I might have a certain mindset or belief at the time, and how it's helped me to become the person that I am today. So it's just really surrendering to not looking at any parts of me as good, bad, or ugly. It just is, accepting it all, embracing it all, and as much as possible going into it to extract wisdom, knowledge, tools that I can get to a better version of myself, but also inspire and teach others and share what I've learned along the way. Yeah.
I call it define and refine.
Yes. So your last card, Rima, what would you like to pick?
Remaining ones?
So you have inspiration, gold light, or growth.
Growth.
Growth. Okay. So let's get some clarity around growth. So growth is about evolving and allowing yourself to grow to an absolute gorgeous version of yourself. By opening your heart, you embrace compassion and positive energy, allowing the essence of you to flow. When you choose a growth card, read it and notice how the insights releases your heart. Understanding comes from deep within. Notice how this card relates to your question. Your heart holds the answers and it knows the way, so trust it. Guys, if you're joining us now, Rima's question was, what's the best way to bring more kindness into the world and respect into people's hearts? Okay, so I'm going to spread this growth card out and you get to pick one.
That one. Go back. The next one.
This one?
Yep.
This one here.
That's the one.
Okay.
I love this game, by the way,
So
Emma. It's incredible how it works.
You do? I know, it's amazing. Okay, so this one says, what am I doing every day to get to where I want to be? You kind of answered this one. What am I doing every day to get to where I want to be? You want to answer that? How does that relate to your
reflection
question?
part is definitely one. But being very mindful about the content that I put out that's more authentic, genuine, and being myself so that others will have the ability to do the same. So as I look at content, as I create content, as I join people for lives, as we do different things, being a lot more aware and mindful of that content and that I'm showing up as the genuine me, not attempting to do anything else besides showing the truth as I see it, as I'm learning, as I'm growing, so that others can have the same opportunity within themselves to reflect and pay attention and grow.
Yes.
And it used to be where it was all about, oh, let's just put content out there. Even though I didn't think that way. It's like, oh, I'm putting out content. Now I'm not more conscientious. Like, how does this content impact? What is the intention behind it without limiting myself at all?
So what does that look like in your content creation process now? Now that you're assessing it by your intentionality and being very direct and being aware of how you're directing your attention to either inspiring, motivating, or educating people. What does your content creation process look like now versus how it was before when you weren't so intentional?
It used to be that as long as I can speak with someone and get them to join me on a podcast, that was incredible. Now I actually take the time to interview them, to speak with them, to understand them, so that when we create a podcast or when we create a piece of content, I can see them in the light that they are and allow them to shine. So as I create content, even if I'm putting a comment out there or even if I'm looking for a quote, I'm with the thinking of how does that impact me and how might it land on someone else with that intention. So it's a lot more intentional versus let's just put a piece of content out there. What does that mean to the world? Not every person, I don't get to control the world, no one does, but that intention of that piece of content is going to reach the right person in the right way. So all my guests on the podcast, they come from a variety of backgrounds. And I love that because that's exactly what this world is about. That's where respect comes from. That's where kindness comes from, by being a lot more open. So my content strategy has changed in that way. That what does the content, what does it hit for that person? And it might be only a few people that I'm thinking of that piece of content is going to impact. And I'm sure it impacts a lot more. However, I might have an intention of what it will do for that person, showing them in their own light.
Thank you, Rima, for being here, for being a lady of your word in your work and in your humanity as well. It's so true. I've been on your podcast and I was amazed by how much time you spent with me beforehand to really get to know my heart. Not my facts and details and numbers, but really get to know my heart so that you can present that in the message that you shared. That was a beautiful experience being a guest on your show. So thank you for that. And thank you for being here to play this game around clarity. You gave me so much clarity. And I hope those watching as well will pursue their goals, their dreams, and just spend some time to, like you said, give some more awareness to, you know, what's coming up for them and the kind of world that they'd like to live in. If people want to follow you, Rima, where do they find you?
I'm on Instagram under Planet of One. I'm on YouTube and Facebook, all under Planet of One. And if they go into Instagram, my link tree has all those links for them. And thank you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time. Emma, thank you so much for providing this beautiful space and this beautiful game for us to play along and really explore.
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you, everybody, for being here, taking time out on your bank holiday to join us. So, yeah, clarity done.
I always in my podcast, attitude, your attitude determines your altitude. So pay attention to what you're being.
Oh, and I like this quote here. Your personality determines your personal reality. So if you want to change your personal reality, you have to change your personality. Very similar. Lots of love, Rima. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Rosie, Rose, Daniela, Spencer, Angela, all of you. I see you, I love you, and I'm grateful for your time spent with us today. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Rima. Bye.